Hello everyone, welcome to Estacia Light Tarot. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. Today is going to be your reading for this full moon and partial lunar eclipse in Capricorn. This is called the Thunder Moon. It's happening July 16th. 2019. You are definitely going to be feeling this energy before and after the 16th. Okay, it is pretty heavy and dense energy. Again, we are in Mercury retrograde as well, and this full moon is bringing the past up to the surface to finally heal and close and clear out. So that is going to be the main message and focus of this full moon and partial lunar eclipse in Capricorn. So we are in Cancer season, and this is Capricorn energy in this full moon, so it's very grounded, very determined, and it's the opposite sign of Cancer. So it's kind of bringing logic to the emotional Cancer inside. I have already prayed and pre-shuffled over the deck, so we are going to ask for messages for this full moon and partial lunar eclipse, July 16th, 2019. And with it being a partial lunar eclipse, that means tonight, well, I am recording this on the 16th, so the night of the full moon, the moon will be full, but it will only be partially visible because of this lunar eclipse happening, which actually amplifies the energy even more, okay? So just know that anything coming to the surface right now is what you are supposed to know. Everything is coming to light, okay? That's what's happening with the past, with the past solar eclipse that just occurred earlier in the month, and now we're in the partial lunar eclipse. It's going to bring up some truth, and it's going to give you clarity, okay? So let's see what other messages want to come out for this full moon in Capricorn. July 16th, 2019. Thank you again so much for coming by my channel. These are general messages. Please take what makes sense to you and leave the rest. Energy, I kind of want to take both of those. Energy goes both ways, so this could either be your energy or it could be energy around you, masculine and feminine. So let's see what's coming out. We have the Six of Cups. So again, this is past memories. Things will be coming from the past. These look like happy memories, right? We have the opportunity here to go within, and this moon is also going to be helping us to reflect again on what we do not want and what we do want going forward. So with this full moon, we actually are having some huge healing that will come after this. And it's being honest with what really needs releasing here. So the Six of Cups to me, in regards to this full moon coming out the bottom, is really telling us to continue looking within to those things that made us happy, okay? Think about when you were a little kid and maybe something occurred, and it was when things may have been easier. Hopefully things were easier for you as a child. Not everyone has had easy childhoods, but regardless, it's those feelings of past memories that are really beautiful to you and emotionally fulfilling. So with this full moon, we're being asked to release anything that doesn't make you feel like this. So the basic energy for this whole reading is love yourself and give yourself the love for your inner child, and really pay attention to those signs. Ground yourself as well. Your senses are going to be heightened with this full moon energy, and that usually does happen. I have nowhere to put the cards because I have several decks right now. Okay, so let's see what is coming out. Ooh, the Hermit in reverse. Well, that's a good thing. Oh, this is great. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so let's see. This full moon energy, okay, eclipses help us to awaken, and they crumble and they help us to transform. So this is the Hermit in reverse, okay? And I think we just got this earlier in the month of saying, hey, you know what? Maybe it's time to go in and reflect And this is the choice that we have made, or you have made, to take a time out and go in and reflect on things. Or again, it was kind of a reminder of, it's time to come out of your shell because you've already done the work. Okay, so this came out earlier in the month. Now we're having the Hermit in reverse. So this is telling me, again, everything coming to the surface is meant for you to know right now. Eclipses are helping us to awaken. So this Hermit is coming out of his shell now. He's no longer going to be in solitude. We are coming out of our shells and we're saying, okay, we are ready to move forward. We're ready to put the past behind us and to continue moving forward, even if it's a little bit difficult. The second card for this full moon in Capricorn and partial lunar eclipse, okay, we have that perfect example of the moon partially, you know, half of it is here, or it's actually in front of the sun here, but let's just say, since this is a partial lunar eclipse, let's imagine that this picture is actually half of the moon being covered, for example. So the moon card comes out again. Are you seeing things for what they are? Are you really looking at things objectively and trying to maybe take your emotion out of it and look at things logically? This moon being in Capricorn is going to balance out the emotional side of Cancer. And we still have several planets in retrograde. It's really causing heavy, intense energy. You probably feel exhausted. You probably feel depleted. Even maybe not nourished enough, or you may be craving certain things like, oh, I need this vegetable right now. For some reason, I just want to eat this only. It's because your body is lacking something, and the full moon energy, the energy of Mercury retrograde, that all can just deplete you. Even if you're sleeping a lot, even if you're taking it easy, the moon can do this. So I believe we actually got this card in the new moon because I had mentioned that these are like the seeds of intention coming down, or this is your abundance coming down. So with this full moon, it's really asking, what do you want to release now? So focus again on utilizing this energy on releasing the rest of whatever needs to be healed. Release whatever other decisions you might have to make that you've been taking your time on. It's coming to a completion. It's coming to a close. The lunar cycle went from new moon to full moon. That's another cycle. That's another completion. So this moon card coming up for this full moon in Capricorn, again, it's the thunder moon. So it's going to be intense. And now is the time to release. It's a great time to clean your home. It's a great time to take, you know, maybe a bath with some salts or some essential oils, and just take some time for yourself. Self-love, self-care, always, if you can, try to implement that as much as possible. And then we have the Four of Swords. So these are the three cards that came out first for this full moon and partial lunar eclipse. So this is great to me. The Four of Swords is taking a rest, and it's just taking a pause. Maybe you've been really working hard, and the Four of Swords comes after the Three of Swords, which is a painful card. It's a little bit of a heartbreak card, the Three of Swords. Or it can be a loss of a relationship, of a family member, of a friend, just anything that makes you hurt. So the Four of Swords comes after to say, okay, why don't you take a rest, work on self-care, take the time that you need. So during this full moon, okay, if you are going to come out of your shell now, sometimes you don't want to just sprint right after you've taken a break, right? If you're a marathon runner, you might want to like jog around the field a couple of times or the track a couple of times before you just go for it. So this is saying, take your time, because you're still healing and you're still releasing, and make sure to ground yourself. This energy here is still an earth energy. So we're in Capricorn energy with the full moon, and then this Hermit is ruled by Virgo. So again, it's logically making the decision to go slower, look at it from a different perspective, be objective about things, make sure you're seeing things for exactly how they are. And even if you're not sure, the universe is going to give you enough clues where you'll be like, oh, okay, I get it. I see the message right here, loud and clear. So again, continue to pay attention to the signs. And then we have this person, this King of Cups came out additional to those other cards for this full moon. And this has to be Cancer. We're still in Cancer season. This is the last week of Cancer season. So it's saying congratulations, you know, continue to work hard at being emotionally balanced and use the logical side of Capricorn and the grounded side of Capricorn during this full moon and balance it out with the emotional side of Cancer. And this full moon is also putting a stop to anyone or anything that's been kind of overgiving. So sometimes we overgive and we get taken advantage of. So this moon is also kind of bringing that up, like, hey, have you been doing that? Have you been overgiving maybe because you want love or you want someone to pay attention to you? You know, that's not the right way to get it, right? You should try to be fulfilled on your own and have an equal give and take situation, whether it's a career or a relationship or a friendship. So this is reminding us to have this balance for ourselves, to be gentle with ourselves during this full moon, and to continue using both our head and our heart in making decisions. You know, you don't want to go over the deep end and be so emotional that it like drowns your vision and you're not able to see clearly. All right, so let's see what other additional messages want to come out. Thank you again for coming by. It's some pretty good energy we have going on, pretty good messages. I know that retrograde, there's been trouble with computers, there's been trouble with technology. You know, if you've had a train ride and your train's 20 minutes delayed. I know I sent my invoice to my job and they said, oh, I got the wrong invoice. It wasn't the correct one, so I didn't get paid the way I was supposed to get paid. And I didn't even realize that until days later. So let's see what wants to come out. All you can do is prepare, right? We can only try to be as prepared as we can. And then when things come up, you just try to take a deep breath and handle it. So let's see, one more card for this full moon in Capricorn and partial lunar eclipse, July 16th, 2019. Oh my goodness, that's too many cards. I'm gonna keep this one though. All right, you guys, thank you so much for coming by my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe, comment, let me know what you think if you're getting a message today. I really hope I deliver something that helps you. All right, so the first card that came out is the Seven of Michael. This is the Seven of Swords. There is a better course of action available to you. Working alone may not be the best answer. Review all the details. So let me read a little bit more of this definition of this book, just to see how it pertains better to this reading. So the Seven of Michael. The need for caution, poor timing, or running away. So, you know, we can't really run away from our problems. They're going to come back up. They're going to come back kind of to haunt us until we deal with them. The Seven of Swords also has to do with mental clarity and speaking your truth. So a need for caution, I would say most definitely, since we're still in retrograde, you always want to be cautious. And just know that if something isn't working out at this time, maybe it's just poor timing, and allow the universe to help you. So it says there's a better course of action available to you. Ask yourself, what am I really trying to accomplish? So if this full moon brings up anything negative for you, ask yourself, what am I really trying to accomplish in this? Should I close this out of my life? Should I clear this from myself? Should I work on releasing this? Or is this something that I could actually utilize to help me in my life? Let's see what else wants to come up in regards to these cards. Then we have the Two of Gabriel. So we've seen this too in a recent few weeks. Again, this is going to be the Two of Wands, which has to do with taking action and knowing more what you want to do now. So make bold and ambitious choices. Great progress is possible. Important relationships with people who share your vision. So when you are choosing to move forward, be bold and ambitious with what you are choosing for yourself, because you are going to be successful. And it says here that you're going to have, or we have, important relationships with people who share your vision. So as you're growing, as you're eliminating negative things, you're going to be challenged with maybe older relationships that come up, or circumstances where people say, hey, you've changed, you know, like, I don't like what you're doing. I don't agree with what you're doing. I don't agree with your life. And you have to be able to not worry about their opinion and just take it in and say, well, that's okay. That's cool. And go about your life and what makes you happy. So surround yourself with people. We always have maybe family or certain bonds, because of either blood or children or whatever it might be, but we still have the choice on how to love that person or how to have that relationship with that person. If it's a negative person, you can go ahead and make the choice to just love them from afar, or say thank you so much for your words and just move on and not even feed into it if it's something negative. So make bold and ambitious choices here to move forward. How these people are walking along the beach, you know, they're moving into a future circumstance and they're making good choices about it. And then the last card is change your life. This is one of my favorites. A sudden revelation that offers freedom. Break free of procrastination. Embrace the opportunities that change brings. So change your life. Anytime there's a full moon, it's always the opportunity to release what's not serving you. You can literally write it down on a piece of paper and say it out loud and rip it up and throw it away. And change your life one day at a time. You implement something good every single day. You just add one little good thing every single day, and before you know it, a year from now, you'll have so many blessings around you on a daily basis from all the little things you implemented little bit at a time. So again, be honest. This person looks like they're sitting here really thinking hard. It's in the nighttime. We're contemplating, we're reviewing things in this retrograde season. It's time to review, reevaluate. Everything that you see, everything that's coming up, it's meant for you to know it. It's real. It's time to ground yourself. Again, make sure you're paying attention to all the signs. And this is actually going to be the last lunar eclipse of 2019. So it is going to be very, very powerful. I'm going to do an additional message from my goddess deck. Let's see what goddess wants to come out as a card of advice for this full moon and partial lunar eclipse in Capricorn. July 16th, 2019. This is all for the highest good of all. These are general messages. Please take what resonates and leave the rest. I hope you receive a message today that helps you on your journey. Let's see what goddess wants to come out. There we go. Mat, fairness. This situation will be handled in a fair and just manner. So the things that are happening, the things and the energy that's being shifted, it's meant to happen. And it's being done in a fair way. You see these scales here? Okay, it's bringing balance. Again, it's having the maturity with this King of Cups to be fair. This is a king. He makes all the rules, but he also does it with love, and he's also not over emotional. Okay, so he uses his fairness in making decisions. Use fairness when you're thinking about how you're going to change your life or what things you want to implement. I'm going to read a little bit of what that card says, and then that will be your reading for this full moon in Capricorn. July 16th, 2019. Okay, fairness. This situation will be handled in a fair and just manner. Message from Mat. Let me suggest another definition for fairness. It's when all parties involved surrender their personal agendas in favor of the greater good for the entirety of the group. This requires trust in the wisdom of the whole. When it comes to matters of disputes, the attacks are based on fears that you may not receive your share. Yet, attacks amplify the hurt and the pain that caused the dispute in the first place. Why not surrender your attachment to a specific outcome and instead direct your holy will toward the resolution of the argument? So to me, even when dealing with stuff, instead of feeding into the drama, even if you don't, even if you're not actually talking to the person or you're not actually dealing with the circumstance in real life at that moment, you can pray about it. You can put it out into the universe and say, this situation is resolved in a positive manner. This situation has already come to its conclusion in a positive way. And you will be surprised, especially during this full moon. You can say something like that and you will really start to see it come out in your real life and you'll be surprised. So again, it says, hold a firm vision of a peaceful outcome and let the pieces fall into place in a harmonious manner. So allow this full moon and these retrogrades and this lunar eclipse to shake it up and just observe what's happening. Take it all into consideration, and then you will know what decisions to make and how to play it out in your life. So thank you all so very much for coming by. That is your full moon reading and partial lunar eclipse in Capricorn, July 16th, 2019. I super appreciate your love and support, and I wish you all a very blessed day.